What's going on, Guardians? Briar Rabbit here. Welcome to Shard It or Keep It, the series where I make an argument both for and against dismantling an item, and you make the decision. This week, we'll be making the big decision for the exotic pulse rifle, No Time to Explain. But first, let's take a look at the results from our last episode, the Sleeper Simulant. The Sleeper Simulant is an exotic fusion rifle that's unique because it's a heavy weapon. It's a solar damage weapon, and its perks include Sleeper Simulant. This weapon's laser tears through enemies and ricochets on hard surfaces. Hip Fire. This weapon has bonus accuracy when firing from the hip. And Activate Ikilos. Upgrade laser to allow multiple ricochets on hard surfaces. The reasons for dismantling this weapon include it's very situational. Great against bosses with huge crit spots, but terrible against mobs of smaller enemies. The perks are very underwhelming. Two different perks add ricochets, which are useful just about never. And one perk gives additional accuracy when hip firing, but this gun is all about critting bosses, so again, this is useful never. Reasons to keep this heavy fusion rifle? It does an amazing amount of damage to anything it hits, especially if you score a crit. It is awesome against ultras, raid bosses, hell, anything that normally has a huge health pool. This thing melts. And in PvP, it's a ton of fun too. It essentially turns into a dead accurate fusion rifle with unlimited range. On large maps where it can be difficult to hit highly mobile guardians with rocket launchers, the Sleeper can one-shot them with ease. Okay, so not useful in all situations, but damn effective for some. Is this gun worth keeping around? Well, I left that up to you, and as usual, you had a lot to say. Aiden Cole said keep it. It can one-shot the unstoppable Sunbreaker. Memo said shard it. Gun is extremely situational in PvE and has useless perks. If you're not hitting criticals with this, you're better off using a sniper, honestly. The low amount of ammo with the slow charge time really increases your downtime with heavy, and you can easily miss with this. Skippy NC says, hey Briar, just wondering if you would one day be interested in starting a sandwich business together. In the end, with 227 votes for Shard It and 1,197 votes for Keep It, the Sleeper Simulant keeps its place in the vault. No Time to Explain is an exotic pulse rifle acquired by completing a quest that begins with finding ghosts in the Paradox Daily heroic story mission and includes killing Atheon, finding a chest on the Twilight Gap Crucible map, and then surviving a nightmarish number of Vex Minotaurs in the Black Garden while killing the Groundskeeper. While there is some controversy about the way the quest is structured, no one can deny that it is one hell of a difficult quest. The reward, of course, is basically an exotic version of the Stranger's Rifle. No Time is a kinetic damage weapon with middle-of-the-road impact and rate of fire, good range, and decent stability and reload speeds. Perks include full auto, a choice between speed reload, hand-loaded, and fitted stock, and finally the weapon's exotic perk Rewind Again. Precision hits are immediately returned to the magazine. Okay, so it's an exotic pulse rifle, and pulse rifles are very strong in the meta of Destiny right now. Why on earth would we shard it? This gun, by the numbers, should be amazing. It's a bit low on stability compared to the perfect roll Nerwin's Mercy that we got a couple of weeks ago from the Iron Banner, but has better range and full auto. Plus, it refunds ammo that hits for crits. What's not to love? Unfortunately, it really comes down to cosmetics. Oddly, even though this is a kinetic weapon, the gun has an electrical charge visual effect that makes a huge and complicated muzzle flash when firing. For me, this nearly wrecks the gun. especially in PvP. It just makes follow-up shots too difficult. Often, after landing my first shot, I have to pull my finger off the trigger, reacquire my target, and start firing again. I just lose them in the muzzle flash. Watch the clips in this video and you'll see it happen time and time again. This extreme muzzle flash also effectively makes the two most attractive perks on this weapon useless. I can't fire this weapon in full auto because I can't see my target after the first burst, and I can't sustain critical fire in the Crucible, so I don't get my ammo back from the Rewind Again perk. And that Rewind Again perk, not really feeling all that exotic, to be honest. Even in PvE, where it is far easier to consistently land crits, it doesn't overwhelm. Compare it to String of Curses on the Bad Juju, for example. String of Curses will reload the mag instantly after a kill, and kills charge your super faster. Rewind Again only returns precision hits to your magazine. Now, it may not be exactly a fair comparison. String of Curses excels at clearing mobs, and Rewind Again is better at doing high DPS to a high health target. But still, a second benefit from the exotic perk is it's kind of missing here. And before you say that No Time to Explain is best for doing high DPS to bosses, it's not. It's just not. Again, that muzzle flash hurts by obscuring all but the biggest crit spots, and this gun is an exotic, so for high DPS against bosses, it's got to compete with pretty badass competition like the Black Spindle or Touch of Malice. Very rarely is the No Time to Explain going to be the right choice. And finally, one more criticism. I already mentioned the Nerwin's Mercy that was obtainable in the last Iron Banner. That gun is very similar to this one, but has major benefits over it. First, it's got nearly perfect stability. In PvE and PvP, headshots are a breeze with it. And it's legendary, freeing up your exotic slot for something that feels, well, exotic. There just aren't a whole lot of situations that I find the No Time to Explain is better than Nerwin's Mercy. Okay, not digging it, but surely there has to be some reason to keep this exotic around. It is an exotic after all, isn't it? No. I honestly have no use for this gun. Not the way it is. But there is hope. Remember the Bad Juju we compared it to earlier? Well, that gun wasn't always as good as it is now. In fact, in the early days of Destiny, many considered it to be one of the worst exotics in the game. But it was adjusted. One of those adjustments was to lower the visual green flame effect the gun had that obscured players' vision. Sound familiar? If No Time to Explain got a similar tweak, we may have something. And if that were to happen, then the Rewind Again perk would be much more useful and easier to use in the Crucible and in PvE. Honestly, it's a solid gun that is handicapped by a bizarre choice to add an electrical visual effect to a kinetic weapon. But if that effect were lessened or eliminated, I think this gun could have real potential. But is that enough to justify the vault space this gun is currently taking up? Or should I get my shard out of it and just rebuy it from the exotic weapon blueprint kiosk if it ever becomes relevant? That's up to you. In the comments below, cast your vote. Shard it or keep it. And in the next episode, I will act upon your recommendation. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button if you like the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.